Welcome to the Clueless Luthier. I'm Mark, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Well, totally different for me. But first I should explain. While I was working on my wife's base, I started another project that I decided not to film the whole process. I've taken some B-roll, they call it, and I might do like one of those build in an hour or fill in time slot when I'm done. And I'll show it to you actually. It's moving along pretty well. It's a dreadnaught, first dreadnaught. Wengate backing sides, sound port, torrefied citrus spruce. Easy for me to say. Torrefied citrus spruce. Sitka. An inlay that I hadn't planned on but needed to do to hide a mistaken fret cut. And so anyway, something I've never done before, and that's the reason for the video. I actually promised someone that I would do this, is I've never made my own bridge. This is a left-handed bridge that I was sent by mistake by LMI right before they went out of business. But I have a piece of ebony, and I kind of got started on this without thinking. So I've done a little bit of the work, not the important stuff, but I thinned it down. I used the safety planer for a bit, then the hand plane to get it to the thickness I want. And I've rough cut it, and I'll show you where did I put. Oh, Mark, I just had it. Here it is. So I made a bridge template because I wanted it to be a little rounder on top. And so I made a bridge template, which is half of it. Used that to make a full size one. I just put it on here, shaped it, spun it around, shaped it, just to make sure it's symmetrical on both sides. It used the same pattern. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double tape this on where I want it, and then use a flush cut router bit to shape this. So let me move over here and I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to use my double-sided paint trick. Tape. Wow, I can't speak this morning, or at least not accurately. Okay. So, where did I put? Well, I'm losing everything here. This is right where it should be. Yeah, bend it over. All right. Do the same thing here. Easier. Look at that. That little dirty though. Oh. Forgot. All right. A little medium viscosity glue. wanted to make sure, where is something I can use. That one. Just want to make sure I get it butted up. Square here. Do that. Okay, yeah, a little bit off there. All right, that'll work. Could have taken more off right there. But, all right, now, double check. Yeah, looks good. Suit up. All right, I'm gonna smooth something out real quick. Make sure I've got that. While I still have it attached. That's a little rough. So I have my basically roughed in shape now, more than roughed in. What I'm going to do now is I built this jig here to put in the saddle slot at the correct angle and depth. Well, the depth I manage on the way, but so put this in. This bottom part is specifically for this shape saddle, and probably, I don't know, probably even for right-handed versus left-handed. I set it up so you could do both, but I'm not sure that it would work totally. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is set a line that has the right angle. For now, I'm just going to use a clamp. I eventually, if I get through this and I'm really happy with it, I might just put another hole with another pin to set it without having to think about it. And now, the way this works is this is made with this direction to just fit the base of my Dremel. And these are set with what I did a little shimming to be exactly 2 7/8 inches this way. And the way that translates is that it'll put this slot, I'll go the opposite since I want it right-handed, in. So as far as saying depth, let's see, so down, lock it, this will work. I'm going to set my depth for 1/4 inch, because that's how deep I want it. And suit up. So the slot's all done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate and line up the pinholes and drill those. Okay, so I don't know how if this will show up. My white pencil died, so I had to use regular lead. What I did is I took the entire distance between the outermost pins and centered it, and then divided that by 5, and then use this to set all of them across, making sure that if I start here and walk it, it ends up at there. I also do something a little different. Like this one, quite common, is the holes are straight across in the bridge. So the distance between the pin and the slot varies, and I didn't want that. I wanted to keep that close one so that I keep the break angle nice and tight. So what I did is I followed the slot in order to put the center of the pinhole. So now I'm going to go over and drill them. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do this from this side. What I've got is I did double tape, sided tape trick to monitor these blocks. Because what I'm trying to do is keep it nice and square up and down. And I don't know if it's probably not going to show up. I use this to help build the outline, which worked great because since it's the opposite handed, I was able to just set it right up next to each other. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out the majority of the extra wood here, and I will do the rest by sanding over on the drill press. So let me get that set up. That went quite well. I was a little nervous. I don't know how well I can get this, but I've got it tapered pretty much to the line I had. And the next thing I'm going to do, before I still have some shaping to do. I want to bring this extra wood off and slope it down. Before I go any further, I need to put the same curvature that I have in the top of the guitar so it sits perfectly flat. The way I do this is I created this 40 degree. Well, if you're wondering about the quick clothing change, I was editing the video, and discovered that it had stopped inadvertently, and I had not noticed it. So at the time, I'm coming back in time to finish this segment. I did this on the radius dish, which I think I told you. I have 40 degrees, that is not true, it's 40 foot radius. It matches the top of the guitar. And I'm going to readjust the camera to show you exactly why. Now, since I actually finished the bridge, you're going to get to see what it ends up looking like, because this is done, all sanded and ready to go. but the top has a curvature, as I mentioned, of 40 foot. And if I didn't do that on the bottom, it would sit, these ends would be elevated above the guitar, and you'd have to really deflect the guitar to get it to glue down properly. By curving it at the same curve, when I set this down, it's perfectly flat on the top of the guitar. So when I glue it, it'll hold. The other thing I had tried to video is an explanation. So from what it was, I'm going to use predominantly chisel and sandpaper to finish sanding this, to bring this down a little bit, remove some of the wood, and that's the most of it. A little bit on the wings to finish it up. So on with the video. And here it is. I sanded it down to 2000 grit paper, which is the finest I had. Cleaned it up with a little naphtha, and I'm pretty happy with it for a first shot. So now I can mark it out on the body of the guitar, its location, tape it off, and start getting, well, I have to do more sanding, but I'm pretty close to putting the finish on. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Talk to you soon.